Hey guys, welcome to a new year, doing our videos again. This year we're going to start off with a nice and fun, silly video. We're going to be playing a fun, silly deck. So, as you can see, this game starts off with a couple mulligans, but we're playing Tauroses. Now, this first game, this opening hand is phenomenal. It's great. The only downside is we have no supporter, but it's not end of the world here. In the end we do lose this game, but you know, that's unfortunate. As our opponent's playing through ledge, we get a nice easy time because they're going to take about an hour to take their first turn, and while they're doing that we can just sort of relax, chill, looking at what we want to be doing and how we should be doing it. So on our turn we're just going to play Risky Ruins, attach energy, and then trolley, and then whatever's in the active we're just going to knock out. You can see that they're playing a stadium, they're doing a bunch of different things, which it's fine. So as you'll see here, we stadium, trolley, we get all our Pokemon down and out, and we get a decent board state rolling ahead. So now you see it attaching damage to everything. We just take a nice easy little attack, bonk. We take our one prizer and we get the Lucky Helmet, which was helpful and also bad at the same time. Because of the damage scaling on this, we could have really done with getting one of our damage modifiers, which you'll see in a second slowly becomes a problem. So Through Ledge once again takes an hour for a turn while they're just constantly discarding, drawing, thinning, and everything else, so we can just relax, stare out of a window. As this comes up, you see them discarding more, they get their Through Ledge, they're going to Evo into Through Ledge, then they're going to an attack and take a knockout. We're going to take a really long turn here. We're going to move up our active, we're going to Nest Ball for a new Pokemon. Oh, we're going to attach all our things first. We're going to find we have no more Tauroses, which is really going to be a problem. So we're just going to hit for 200. The lack of other Tauroses in the deck is a problem, which means we've prized 2 Tauros and we've lost 1 Taurus, which if you watch you'll see starts to become the real issue here, because they're going to take a knockout and we get Iono Balloon, which is helpful and not at the same time. So we're going to we get a Bangle, which gives us our damage modifier, but we Iono because we don't need it quite yet. We attach the helmet, and as we know we don't have any other Tauruses in, we're just going to take a knockout and hope that whatever we get from our prizes and our 2 extra cards, we get something good. See, we get one of the Tauruses, which starts helping the damage sort of pathing. Here we're just going to see them usual, taking another 20-minute turn where they through ledge, energy, decide what they want to do, and then they attack. Now we have a predicament, because we have no Tauruses in the deck, and we have no other way of getting what we need. So we're going to try get a little Pokemon out, get an energy, attach it to it, and then we're just going to try ping damage across the board state, but we're going to try stick them out. So as you'll see, I attack, it does a bit of damage to everything, it isn't the end of the world. Downside is that we then with the knockout, which then puts us on equal prize racing, this now becomes a problem because for Through Ledge finding energy is very easy. See, they're going to Abyssal Flames, 270 take knockout. We're going to move up our Taurus, and this is where we start getting stuck because we have no energy. Well, we've got energy, we've got no retrieval, should I say. So we're just going to move up a Tauros and we're just going to hit for 30 damage and hope that they've got no switches. Which, once this happens, you'll see that they get energy again and we concede, because that's a lost game and there's not much we can do. So we go to the next. Well, luckily we win the flip, we make our opponent go first. We mulligan sadly here, but should we have had a starting Pokemon, this hand would have been phenomenally fun. This once again unfortunately is a rather quick game. So we start with our Tauros. Our opponent's playing a psychic deck, and you'll see us very quickly decide that this isn't for us and we're just going to scoop and we're going to go to the next game, because once they get Slow King we are kind of scuppered in this format. But we're going to give it a go. We're going to see our first turn. We're going to see Attach Energy, Lucky Helmet, Lilies. We're not going to get much else, so we're just going to play our choices and attack for nothing, and then we concede. There we go, there's the concede, because they go Slow King and they can get anything. We go to the next game. This one is relatively, well, we'll see what happens, but it's relatively quick. So we started playing balls because Bear went to a cup and he won with this deck. So I thought I would give it a go to see what it actually feels like from a different person's perspective. I'm not sold on it, but I've been enjoying it a lot. He's adamant it's a phenomenal deck, which, to be fair, when things go well, it goes really well. But if you get tied down or stuck, it becomes an absolute nightmare. So in this matchup, it's a bit difficult because they're playing Festival Grounds, and we're hoping to see a couple different things. So I play a more safe format where I go for the Dialga to switch back and try to splash damage everywhere. But annoyingly, we get everything else, but we don't get the stadium, so we just Dialga for mass damage everywhere. The problem with Festival Grounds is that they splash a lot of damage because they get multiple attacks, and they only need a Festival Grounds Pokemon in the active to start splashing damage everywhere. I say splashing damage, ironic with them playing Sea King, but they attack twice, and it becomes an absolute nose. Because they have Festival Grounds, they attack once, take a knockout, we move up a ball, they do damage, which isn't another knockout, but it's enough to take another thing. And because it's Sea King, they draw like 400 cards. We get another ball, we attach energy, and then we Iono, because we want to try control their hand size here. Now they can just get wherever they want, but we go Lucky Helmet, we don't need to boost damage here, we just take a knock. So we take our first knockout, they've taken their first knockout. And unfortunately, this is a prize race game where they win because they're taking either a knockout or 2 knockouts a turn, and we are unfortunately only taking 1. Hindsight, I should have just scooped here probably, but as we'll see, we'll play the game out, and the hope in my eyes in that top left slowly drains away, let's say. So as you can see, they're getting their energy, they're getting another Sea King set up, they attack our first one, they get the stuff, we move up the undamaged one, because it's all benefit to us. So, we're going to energy attach, we're going to check there's no balls left, we're going to put a non-damaged one back on the field. We could take the Search Monkey, but we just take the Sea King. All they're going to do is just start panging out more damage across the board state. So we're equal pricing a long way here. They're just putting all their Sea Kings back because they're just going to attack with a Hydraplin. Hydrapple or Hydra? It's just the Applin. Because they're going to be hitting for 60 at the current state. You see them fill up their board, they then start hitting for 100, which means that they're once again just taking double knockouts. And it doesn't really matter what we do here to slow them down, they do a lot of damage. They pop the black belt for extra EX damage. I'm not really sure why. I guess they can support us, so they're going to. I play a colourless ball here, which is kind of a faux pas. I should have played the fighting ball. But once again, we're just prize race trading. And it's a tad unfortunate because they were able to take 1.5 prizes at the start and we weren't able to quite get set up properly. They basically win this race, and now they've got 3 monkeys, so they're just searching for 3 cards they want every turn in any format, and there's not really a great deal we can do to slow them down or stop them. But yeah, unfortunately, because I didn't just scoop, we lose so much time playing this game out. But I need to see these decks and practice these formats, because unlike Bear, I don't play this deck often. He absolutely loves this deck. He thinks it's the best thing since sliced cheese. So, we unfortunately take the damage again. We Lana's aid. We get our fighting balls and our fighting energy back. We switch into our fighting ball. No damage on it. This is where, on the off chance, we hope that he can't quite get the double damage on it. But as you'll see in a second, he moves up his Seeking. He fills his bench because he gets another. Oh, he starts setting up a low punny. I found it quite funny. There's no need for it, but yeah, he goes Seeking. He gets his energy. He attaches energy. No, he attaches the Vitality Band, then he attaches energy, which means that he can then attack for 2 sets of 70. And like an absolute spoon here, move that one back up. He puts damage on it, but he's now down to 1 prize, and we've got no prizes. So I'm trying to consider all the choices here, but I end up trying to Iono him down on the off chance that he doesn't get anything, and I try bouncing the stadium. Just, you know, prize races on single prizes becomes a nightmare. He then moves up his apple. He only needs 1 energy, and he can take like 2 knockouts really. But he does the low punny just for the sake of being a bit of a knob. So we go to the next game. So far we've lost 2 games. We're looking to try bring it back. As you can see, staring at my phone, disheartened, trying to text to say, how do you actually play this deck? Our opponent won the flip, so they're going to go first. Which, you know, I don't mind with this deck. I'm told that we should always be going second for trying to take first turn knocks. So our opponent, as usual, takes 20 minutes to decide how to put down a basic, which the more I play online, the more I generally despise people. But we see these things and we decide we just got to carry on. So waiting for the turn to see what it is. Hindsight, I know what it is, but for the sake of a surprise, well, let's see the little drum roll. Flip. Yeah, I get my extra prize card. So I take the fighting energy. A flip, and it's good old pulp. So, as much as I love pulp, I could think of about a better million ways of doing this. Oh no, we went second this game. No, this is where it's pulp. They're not going to take first turn knock. I'm trying to decide how I should do this. So I take the 1 energy on the hope that if they do what I think they're going to do, of playing Badoo, I can then just take the horn attack. But I assume my opponent bricks here, because he then looks at what's going on, and then in about 2 seconds time the game ends because he just scoops. I've had this actually happen in real life before at a cup. I was playing a pole player and they just scooped. I was like, okay. So anyway, we go to the next game, which, you know, should be hopefully not as quick. Unfortunately, we all go first. Not great. We get no basics, so we mulligan, give our opponent the starting thing. But good times. We've got Arven, we've got Lucky Helmet, we've got a few other things. See, with 130 health, I don't tend to worry about getting donked if our opponent goes second. There's only a handful of donk decks these days, mainly like Bolt and a few others. So we can see our opponent's Dengo. So luckily we get the stadium. So we just go Nest Ball, attach the Lucky Helmet, start getting our balls with damage on them, and then we just end turn. Like here, it would have been nicer if we could have gotten energy, but getting turn first, Lucky Helmet, and with them playing Soul Rock Soonaton, it means that they are probably going to try attack with the Soul Rock. Which, you know, Dengo player, you see him doing his 400 turn. You see he knows we're going to be trying to take knockouts, so he moves up another Soul Rock. And then he attacks us to end his turn, which for us is a Brucey bonus, because it means we get to draw 2 extra cards. Which, you know, here he's trying to deplete what he's doing, so he's probably just looking at what all the options are and what they actually do. So here he's just thinning out his deck by trying to pull out all the fighting energy before he ends his turn. Luckily we get the Iono and we get the Colress. We don't need the Colress, but as he's spent all his stuff pulling his fighting energy out, we're just going to Iono. We're going to put another ball down, and we're just going to get another ball. Trying to debate, do I want to use the fighting to get another ball or to get fighting energy next turn. I'm glad I saved it, because we got 2 modifiers and we need to figure out how we're going to take a Dengo here. Now, luckily, it being a Dengo, we only need 2 modifiers to take 260 if we've got a full damaged benched, which we've got a full damage at the moment. He's tool scrappering to get rid of my Lucky Helmet, which was a bit of a dick move, personally, I would say. But, you know, it's fine. He hits us for 100, he takes a knockout. And we move up another ball, so we start setting up. We get the Lillies, which is helpful, because we're able to then try to get all the energy, all the balls, get everything set up. We then Lillies, and we just need to get the extra, but we don't quite hit it, so it's a bit of a brutal, but we do hit the 260 because I completely forgot how much damage needs to do. So luckily we took a Dengo, we're down to 3, and the prize trading here is that it's more in our favour, with them having to take 1 prizes and we're taking doubles every time. And with his damaged Dengo already, it becomes even easier, because, you know, we only then need to do a bit of scuffling around. And as you can see, I've already got a ball with the Bangle, and my opponent's just taking 20 minutes to decide what he wants to do. So everyone says Dengo is super linear. I've personally never played it, but so you can see our opponent just passes, so we Power Pro, we pull another bull out, we set up. Like, it was a bit excessive, I'm not gonna lie, but here we hit for 300, we take the knock. If our opponent is gonna throw a fit that we're taking double knocks, we're just gonna accept it and move along. So now you can see our opponent is clearly just running down the timer, which is insufferable when people do it online, but that's their prerogative, I guess. In person, when people do this, you can call a judge and you can be like, "Excuse me, judgy, my opponent's slow playing. Can you please just hit them with a ruler?" But people don't. I've never had this problem in like a tournament or major event I've gone to. I've never had an opponent slow play. Touch wood, intentionally, that I know of. Most opponents, most events are really, really lovely, actually. You know, they've been phenomenal. So, as you can see, this game goes on a bit longer. My opponent then decides, you know what, pass. And then I just take an attack and I take knockout, and that's the game. So, there we go, he conceded. Nice and easy. So we go to our next game. Next game is, once again, very nice, very linear. So we choose to go second and our opponent will go first. We get a bit of a dead hand, sets a little bit of a worrying tone through here, but it's okay, because we're going to be fine. Because we just have to wait 20 minutes while our opponent puts a Pokemon down. He's in put 2 down, we show them our hand, we get a beautiful starting hand. So when they flip over Bolt, I became extremely happy with his hand, because unmodified we're hitting 240 first turn, and we just literally, we top deck the energy, which is even better. So we Bangle, we do everything, we popped all the extra modifiers just in case we didn't have all the balls or there was an issue, and then we just take a knockout. Just so nice, quick, easy, just donk. We get the Colress and the Fighting Gong. So now our opponents are a bit confused, they're trying to figure out. They move up the other Bolt, which for them is the wrong play here. What they should have done is moved up Baby Bolt. They should have then sort of moved energy over with like Sada. And unfortunately, like, they benched more things that are weak to fighting or easy knockouts, which for us is great. Here they Bellowing Thunder, they take our bull, which minorly upsetting, but doesn't really matter because it's a ball, it's a one prizer. We just Nest Ball, get a new ball, we Fighting Gong, because that means now all our balls on the field all have damage when hitting for a decent amount. We're going to Colress here for a Stadium and a Fighting Energy, just so we can set up next turn. We hit for 240 base, easy peasy knockout. We take the next two prizes. Oh look, it's another ball. So no matter what happens here, we're hitting for 240 on our turn. Our opponent's now trying to figure out what the heck they're going to do, because they're like, okay, he's just taking prize after prize. Not much we can do here. For us, luckily, being a one prize deck, we literally do not sweat knockouts. It's absolutely fine. He's trying to figure out what to do. Bolt, unfortunately, into us, unless he uses Baby Bolt for quick knockouts, he's going to go in for a bad time. And to be fair, I had to remember, I had to look at the Sandy Shocks then to try to remember what it even does, because it's been a while since I've looked at one. It's been a while since I've seen Bolt run like that. So yeah, they concede, and we win that game. Right, we go to the next game. So now we're looking at 2-2. This next game, I recall I lose, so our opponent goes first, because like I said before, always choose to go second. With this hand, I'm getting very excited. We're thinking first turn knockout, good times. We've got Stadium, we've got Energy. Only problem is we know no switch or way of switching our Pokemon in hand. So worst case scenario, we're just going to be attacking for 30, which, as you'll see, is what tends to end to happen here. But we don't worry too much, because at first I thought they were going to try Assault the Landing until I remembered we went first. So we play our Stadium, we get all our balls out, and we start putting all the energy down. Unfortunately, we get no hard switch, so we Helmet, we Energy, and we just aggressively poke for 30, which we need to do to be able to scale the damage in our favour here. Unfortunately, Fan Rotom is actually resistant to fighting, which I discovered later on when speaking and taking advice from Bear on this matchup, because I was trying to figure out what to do. When they played the Opal, I thought this was Terra Box, but what this is actually is Terrazard, or Turtlezard, or whatever people call it these days. Now this matchup should be winnable if played correctly. There's a lot of key words there, played correctly, which you'll see me not do throughout this match. So as our opponent's just taking his sweet time doing all his random little guffins here, you're going to see that he loads up his turtle, he starts getting Amanda down, and then he's going to go in and change his turtle up to his attacker, and he's going to take a knockout. Luckily for us, that procs our Lucky Helmet, so we get to draw 2 cards. So not getting the first turn knock really put us behind here, but it's not the end of the world, because we can then do a few other things. So as you'll see, he's going to quick search. You'll all have to tell me what you think of the music at the end, by the way. Like, I put this gentle little background music on to help, and I'm finding myself singing along to it too much. So it's been very hard to voice over because of that. But if people let me know what they think, if they like the extra music or if they don't, but yeah. So here you'll see him, he moves up his Opal, he then attacks, takes a knockout, we get a ball and a Fighting Energy, which is the dream scenario, really, because we don't really need to do anything. Now, we would like to have the Stadium down before playing our ball, so we don't do anything, so we just play it. We still don't get it, but we do get a bunch of other stuff. Now, unfortunately, not getting the Stadium and getting a ball with damage down is a bit of a killer, so we're going to have to see what happens here, which, hindsight, I already know I lose this game. But the good thing is that we're going to see how it goes. So as things go, So we can see he plays the Dawn. As he then plays the Dawn, he's getting his Manda, his Charmeleon, and his Charizard, which is pretty standard. So he's going to play his Charmeleon. He's then going to rare candy into Charizard. There you go. He gets his energy search. And this is where we get a bit of a problem, because we could have really done with that ball with the damage on here, because the damage scaling in our favour is not going to be great. So he's then going to search out more, which confused me a little, because I thought he was going to save that. But he plays a random one-off healing Pokemon when it's in the active, which absolutely threw me through a loop here. So he moves up his Zard. He then hits us for 240. Then we start getting a real problem here, because we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. So we don't want to bench the ball with the lack of damage on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to try thin our deck out as much as possible and put some fighting balls down. Now I do make a misplay in a minute. So the misplay here is that I'm trying to figure out how much damage I can do. So I pop some damage to hit him for 190, because I want to try do more, because I know he's going to try heal for 90 with his little Mega Mosa thing. So here we watch, he's going to then get his Pokemon, he's going to quick search, he's going to get a balloon, he's then going to switch out into the Mega I can't ever say its name properly. So yeah, he's going to switch into the healing Pokemon, is the plan here. Which gives us one turn of getting an extra attack and knockout. So you can see here, he's going to Surfer. He's then going to retreat. I thought he was going to do a bunch of different things, to be honest, which, to be fair, threw me through a loop when he did half of the stuff he did. I've never seen this variant of Zard, which confused me to no degree. So you see him do his little thing here. He's deciding how he's going to do it, and then he's like, YOLO, we're just going to retreat. We're going to use the ability to heal for 90, and then we're going to pass, because then we can't do anything. Because I thought he was going to switch back into the Zard afterwards. So what we're going to do is trying to decide what we're going to do, because we can't switch. We're just going to take a knockout and hope that we get something good. We get an Arven, which is great in one sense and terrible in another. So as you'll see here, he's going to take an attack, he's going to take our ball. We tried to do a couple things, but the Iono absolutely rinses us out. We get the Lillies, he takes the knockout, but luckily we've already got ball and attack damage on, so we've got enough damage just about to do what we need to. So we get the stadium down. Oh no, we don't actually have quite enough damage. So I'm trying to decide what I want to do, and I'm trying to figure out the best way of going about it. So I pop the extra thing. It's not quite enough to take knockout, and unfortunately then we then get into a really bad situation, because then they Colress and they bounce our stadium again, which then causes us more problems. And with it being 250 damages, it's not quite enough to damage for us to do anything particularly good. We then tried Lilies, try to see if we can get something better. We once again don't quite get what we need to. And because we lost that one prize, our prize trading becomes more problematic, because they're just going to go back into another Zard, and we've lost a lot of balls. And in our hand here, we don't have anything really a way of getting it back. Where for them, they're just going to go straight into Zard and get the energy up. And we've popped a lot of our Power Pros, which is why I was checking the graveyard for then. So because we popped, I think it's 3 Power Pros at this point, for this knockout we would need 2 Power Pros, a Bangle, and a full bench of damaged Pokemon. Now the only way we're going to do that is that if we use Don't Hassle the Hoff, as I like to call him, So I'm going to move up a ball. We get our last Premium Power Pro. No, second to last Premium Power Pro. But we have no bangles. So I just pick a bunch of stuff and concede because unfortunately I misplayed. And that's it for today. So thank you all. Cheers. Leave us a like. Let us know what you think. Bye bye.